You might be asking yourself, is this video clickbait? It's probably clickbait because, there's no way that a book is going to change my life forever. And in part, you're not wrong, but you're not right either. And let me explain to you. Just give me a few minutes and I'll explain to you why this book that I'm going to mention next is going to change your life forever. Just to clear things out, first things first, this is just my mere opinion and my takeaway on the book that I'm just giving you to help you improve your lifestyle. Now, this is not a paid partnership, or do I know the author or anything. This is just completely my personal opinion and my understanding of the book, just to clear that out before we start the video. But basically, I'm going to show you the book. Coming up next, we're going to divide this video into, I'm going to show you the book, and then I'm going to give you the takeaways or how you can improve your life with this book. And also, this is my weekly recommendation. This is my new segment. I don't do this every Monday, just to get that out of the way. But let's go on with the video. So the book, it's called right here, Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits is written by author James Clear, and I did get the hardcover. So it's a great book, and I'm gonna show you the author here just real quick. I don't know if you can see him properly. Now that I've shown you the book and all the tasty stuff, let me tell you how this book changed your life. So Atomic Habits is basically, as the book sounds, Atomic Habits is a book of how to make better habits of your life, And you might be thinking, how is that gonna help me get to my ultimate goal? The thing is, anything that is, obtainable in life has habits involved in them. I'm going to show you how you can improve your life based on habits. Good habits, of course, because bad habits don't really bring anything good. I mean, that's what they're called, bad habits. But first things first, that the topic that I want to bring into accountability is acknowledgement. So whenever there's a problem, whether it's a bad habit and you want to change it, you have to acknowledge the problem. You might be thinking, Tony, that's super easy. For example, if I always fall on the same rock, I know now not to trip on that rock. It's easy to tell yourself in your head, okay, I know the problem, but do you really? What I took away from this book is that acknowledgement is not only thinking about, oh yeah, the rock is there, I'm going to avoid it. Acknowledgement is basically not only thinking it, but saying it and putting it into motion. For example, if you want to write it down, it seems silly. You're going to pull out your phone and say, oh, the rock is always there. You can set a reminder to yourself and say, oh, listen, the rock is always there. Or say out loud, there's a rock in front of yourself. You might be thinking this is very silly, just saying there's a rock in front of me, I'm going to move to the left to avoid it. But when you say things out loud, you're thinking about what you just said. For example, when you say something out loud, when you have a conversation with somebody, you usually tend to think or rethink of what you said after you already said it. It makes you think whether I said the right thing or not. If you didn't say the right thing, you're going to think about it. Damn, I should have probably said this. And that's where this comes into play. Basically telling yourself there's something in the way, and that way you're going to be more accountable of it. So that's the first step to making your life better. The second step is called environment. What attracts us. So like you saw in the thumbnail, thought, oh, this is probably a clickbait title. Well, it's not, because the whole point of the thumbnail was to get your attention. And usually when you're gonna make a good habit or a bad habit, this is the most, if not the most important key. They're all in balance with each other, but this is one of the most fundamental parts of it. If you want to improve, is your environment. You cannot dedicate yourself to study 3 hours if your environment is full of distraction. If you're sitting in a room full with technology, gossip, some of your friends watching a movie, your parents being really loud, whatever the case may be, you cannot concentrate. Much as good as you are working with crowds and noise around you, your point of focus is going to be a little shifted, and it might cause you to lose a piece of information that you might need later on in your studies or in your tests. So how do you make a better environment? The thing is, you got to set yourself a place for everything, and it's difficult. I understand it's difficult for people that have smaller places. I mean, I live in an RV. My house literally is from where I'm sitting to probably 3 steps from me. I have my TV here, I have my games up there, and I have my books locked up. I don't have much space to put it, but I do divide my space into 2 things. So my bed is where I record. My bed is where I record, where I watch movies, wherever the case may be, but mostly is either for sleeping or for recording, because I can't record where my air conditioning is. So I set my bed this the place where I record, and I edit in my table. It might be a little tricky, but environment plays a big role. For example, you've gone a lot of times to supermarket, and if you've noticed in the supermarkets, they have the item on sale on an end cap. They have it placed on the beginning of each aisle to kind of draw a customer's attention. You might be thinking, oh, let me go to the supermarket and buy some milk, and you happen to see that they have your favorite bag of chips on sale. That's gonna attract you, and that's what the company wants. The company wants your eyes to get distracted. They reshape their environment to attract your eyes because that's bringing their profit in, you as a customer. And I'm deviating a little bit more, but this is just a clear example on why environment is important, and that's something that Mr. Clear touches up in his book a lot. Environment. So you want to, in order to improve yourself, you want to surround yourself in an environment that you can accomplish the task you're for. You want to make everything for a task. The kitchen for cooking, the bathroom for going to the bathroom, whatever the case may be. Play around with your environment. Make it that you concentrate on what you are doing rather than anything else. So the third step that I'm going to bring into accountability is action. You already acknowledge that there's a problem. You reshape your environment. Now comes the action. Now, action is the part where we all have struggled. Whether that is, getting up and going to the gym, get away from social media a bit and kind of focus on your studies, or whether that is whatever the case may be, or starting a new diet. Action is the most difficult part of this process because it pushes you out of your comfort zone. You already acknowledge the problem. You already reshape your environment. Why is it difficult? When you have a bad habit, you're going to struggle with that. And the best way to get rid of it, kind of set your plan to motion, is you got to test the waters. For example, if you want to lose weight, right? I kind of read this in the book. This is not my example, but this is one of the examples that there's in the book. This might sound super silly, but if you want to lose weight and you have a hard time to go to the gym, so why don't you just put your gym clothes on, go inside the gym, you pay your gym membership, and just go in there for 5 minutes. Just walk around the place, maybe do a little sets, whatever you want to do. Just walk in there for 5 minutes and then just leave. And you might be thinking, Tony, you're crazy. Why would I pay a membership just to go inside of a gym for 5 minutes? You see, that's where the action comes into play. The action is not how many reps you get in or how many times in a day you go to the gym or how long you spend. The action is you starting to do it. Once you set yourself to acknowledge your problem and you set your environment to say, okay, before going to work, I got to lay out my clothes for working out. So as soon as I get home, I take a shower, I put on my clothes, and I go to the gym. So you already did those. So the action is for you to go to the gym, right? And it's very silly. You might say, you might try it, it might not work. But the point is, you're reshaping your schedule. You're starting a new habit. You don't always have to go extremely try hard, bodybuilder exercising to get your point across, or to get, to get your goal completed. What you need to do is start kind of tricking your brain, tricking yourself into kind of doing these things. And as more often you do it, you're gonna be automatic. You know how they say practice makes perfect? Well, this is the same thing. When you build a new habit, you practice it a lot. You do it constantly. And the more you do it, the more it sticks to you and it becomes a part of you. Even if it's silly for you to go for 5 minutes to the gym and you just do a few sets and leave, you might be thinking people are looking at you like, oh my God, this guy's wasting his time. You're not wasting your time. You're customing your schedule, your body, and your mind, which is the most important part of all of this, to kind of start something new. And you're gonna see that maybe those 5 minutes that you go into the gym, maybe one day you meet somebody or you meet a person in that gym that is like, for example, let's put a clear example. Let's say you go to the gym for 5 minutes and you walk on a treadmill and you're like a movie fanatic, and let's say you meet somebody that walking on a treadmill that's trying to make a conversation with you, and you happen to know the same movie. 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty sure you're gonna make a connection with that person, because if you guys like the same thing, more often than not, you're gonna want to go back to the gym Even though you're deviating a little bit from your first perspective just to go to the gym, you found something else to kind of draw you to. And this is gonna come in the next part that I'm going to explain. But you found your thing, you found that one person that you feel comfortable with, and you want to go to the gym now because that person goes to the gym every day. And the only way for you to see that person is, let's say, just the gym. So that's your go-to spot. So you're gonna want to go to that gym, and you never know. Their habits of going to the gym is gonna stick to you because there's a connection. And we human beings tend to look for connection. And that's something that's touched in the book too. I'm trying not to say too much about the book, but I'm just giving you, like I said, like my personal takeaway. Basically, you're gonna start doing that over and over, and next thing you know, you're already going to the gym. Those 5 minutes might be turned into 2 hours or 1 hour supersets or whatever the case may be. You just found your motive. You found your point of comfort. You're doing something uncomfortable, but at the same time you feel comfortable because you have somebody that's there with you and shares the same goals. And this brings me to my last topic on how to improve your life, like how this book will improve your life, and it's called satisfaction. So satisfaction. The other 3 steps are highly important. Like I said, every step in this 4-step process is completely important if you want to improve your life for the better. But the one that seals the deal, the cherry on top, is satisfaction. And you might be asking, Tony, what do you mean with satisfaction? Well, very easy. When you start doing something, more often than not, you kind of tend to do it to satisfy yourself. You might be asking me, what do you mean satisfy myself? Well, for example, you might like going out with friends because you need social acceptance, or maybe socialize a bit because you like being alone all the time. So let's use the 4 steps. So basically, you acknowledge the problem, you change your environment, which is basically you kind of surrounding yourself with people. After you change your environment, took the action to find a place to hang out with your friends, and finally you got what you wanted, which was to hang out with your friends, eat, have fun. And that's what keeps you motivated, keeps you want to do it again because of what you get, your reward. You know how they train dogs, they tell your dog to sit or roll over, whatever the case may be. You give the dog a treat at the end. Now the dog knows that every time he does what you tell him, he's gonna get a treat. And the same thing here. I'm not saying that every time you go to a gym, you go and eat a donut. That's not what I mean with a treat. What I'm saying here, the treat is, for example, okay, so today I have a goal and I'm gonna do 20 minutes on the treadmill and do this set or whatever the case may be. And you say, okay, there's a show I really like watching. Let's say you like watching an anime or whatever the case may be, something that you're really interested in, and you set yourself and trick your brain into saying, okay, I'm not gonna watch this show until I do my 20 minutes in the treadmill. And you might be thinking, this is torture, this is completely terrible, I could do it without doing this. Yeah, but you're not gonna get anything done. But I promise you, if you do those 20 minutes on the treadmill and then watch that show, it's way more satisfying than just watching the show and not doing nothing. A lot healthier for you, but you feel good, you feel accomplished. And that's what the satisfaction comes. You're finding something that you really like, and you're doing something that you really don't like. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you don't like, but you still find a way to manage through this to get to this. And that's the whole point of the satisfaction. It's something that leaves a taste in your mouth. It's something that has to come back for more. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this is just my personal takeaway. Obviously, Mr. Clear explained it way better than I do, puts way more examples, but this was my first book review. But I highly recommend, if you want to improve the way you see life, the way you react, the way you are productive, if you want to start a new business, if you want to improve your relationships, if you want to be healthier, whatever the case may be, I highly recommend Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm going to link down the link to buy the book. I honestly recommend that you buy the book instead of the audiobook, because you're already starting in a path towards improvement. Somebody that doesn't read much, I feel like this would be a little handy. And I feel like each chapter You know, you can just sit down, take notes of each chapter, because each chapter gives you something new to kind of add to your everyday arsenal. So I highly recommend this book. You know, you have no idea how much I love this book. This book is, I question myself now. Thanks to this book, I question myself a lot. And that didn't happen before. I would just do things, but now I kind of manage my time differently. But that's gonna be the end of today's video. I hope my review helped you guys. I hope I was able to give a clear message. Like I said, this is my first book review. Not even a book review, it's more like a book recommendation. But I hope it helped you, and if it did, share it with others. And this is something that you want to do. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna benefit you a lot. It's gonna benefit the people around you a lot, and more importantly, it's gonna get you to where you want to be, from point A to point B, if you don't build good habits along the way and kind of reshape on how you view things and how proactive you are and all. But if you're somebody that's not proactive and is always, you know, having troubles with, getting tasks done, this is the book for you. I highly recommend it. I said it a lot, but it's true. But that's gonna be the end of today's video, mi gente. Thank you very much for watching this week's book recommendation. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, let me know down below in the comments if you have the book ready, if you've read it, what was your thought about it, what do you take, how do you incorporate it in your personal life. Let me know down below, drop it down in the comments. And if you don't want to type a comment, like I always say, you don't want to be an extrovert, that's totally fine for today. But tomorrow I'm challenging you. Come on, I need to see how you're doing down below. Just drop a thumbs up down here. It will help me out a lot. It will help also more people see this video, and that way my message can be a little bit transmitted, and hopefully Mr. James Clear sells more copies, because he deserves it. This book is amazing. And as always, mi gente, thank you for watching with your beautiful ojos. And if you want to stick around for more book reviews every week, because I'm going to do this every Monday, there's a book review. Book recommendation. There's a book recommendation. Just hit the subscribe button and hit the bell. I don't know why I smack it like that. Hit the bell. And yeah, be part of the Platano family. And every week, just wait for that Monday. Just wait for that Monday book recommendation. But thank you, mi gente, for watching. This is it for today's video. Me voy.